Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This time around we're going to be talking about Extreme Flight's probably one of their most talked about models in 2022 and possibly 21 as well. Actually, matter of fact, if you go onto any forum right now, I guarantee this model will be at the top of the list from Extreme Flight, and that is the Turbo Bushmaster. Let's get to it. So, a couple of things before we get the model down. Is that side of that? Yeah, there we go. Before we get the bush down, is first off, two confessions. That's not mine. I borrowed it off a friend and kind of kept hold of it for a while, kind of hoping he's going to forget about it. He's probably not, but it's still here. He hasn't asked for it back, so that's why we're going to do the review today. And secondly, when he told me last year he was going to buy the Bushmaster, at that time I knew nothing about them. I thought, why? Why would you possibly want what looks like a high wing trainer? You can already fly, you can fly good aerobatics, why bother with something like Bushmaster? And then I was completely blown away when I saw videos of it like this.
Big yellow airplane.
So it just goes to show you've got to do your research before buying a model. Check it out properly. There's lots of resources online, and don't just go buy the manufacturer website, but make sure you check out those YouTube videos and the forums as well. So let's get the bush down off the shelf and check it out. Okay, so let's grab the camera off the stand and check out the fuselage first. So this is the 84-inch Extreme Flight Turbo Bushmaster, also known as Legacy Aviation Bushmaster, and that's, I believe, because Legacy Aviation did create the kit first and Extreme Flight brought it out. I might be wrong about that, so post in the comments below if you know more detail on the background. And let's just take a moment to look over the fuzz. Quite chunky, pretty much like a box design, I guess. Some nice effects at the front with the side exhaust. This one's running the X-Power, as you can see from the stickers, the X-Power 22cc electric setup on 6S, which has more than enough power. Let's take the hatch off. And take a look inside. Pretty tidy kit out on this, but just have a look at the airframe at this point rather than the kit. Just let me get the camera inside there. Typical high quality Extreme Flight kit. And for those of you that don't know, these models come completely pre-covered. It's just a case of some assembly required before we go flying. Switch tucked away up top there. Receiver pack sitting in there, flight pack or main battery pretty much over the CG, and then running on Futaba, single receiver. I think you agree, it looks pretty nice. This model comes in two colour schemes, so this is obviously the yellow, silver and black. It's also a rather nice white, blue and silver scheme as well. Let's go down the rear end. Tiny horizontal stabilizers. Like really small in comparison to my hand, but lots of movements on the control surface, which you may find slightly surprising. So I did refer to this as a trainer, but obviously this model is much more than a trainer. It's a full 3D aircraft, or an aircraft that is capable of doing a lot of 3D maneuvers. Probably a better way of saying that. Look at the fin. Loads of movement there. It's model wheel knife edge. It obviously does need a bit of elevator to keep it on track when you knife edge, because it's effectively, well, it is a high wing model, not a mid wing model. Okay, it's upside down. Nice air scoop there. And you can just about see the ESC. I'm pretty sure this is a Castle. Is it Castle in there? No, I'll check that out in a minute and I'll link it below. Can't recall what he's put in, but we'll take a look. He has upgraded the tyres on this, or the wheels rather, and that's because the ones that came with it were a bit too heavy. I'll link these ones in the description below the video so you can find out what ones they are, but I know he's much happier with them. It does fly off grass quite a lot, but also off of tarmac, and they're wearing pretty well. Carbon fibre undercarriage is standard. Some rear vents there to let the air escape, which is appropriate if you're running electric or running gas. Nice chunky tail wheel. Again, just seeing all that elevator movement. Just check it both ways. Wow. That is a lot. So he's running full Savox radio gear, well, servos in here. I'll just confirm the servo numbers. They're probably the 1270 SGs, I believe it is, but I'll confirm them in when we take a look. Let's flip it back over and get one of the wing panels out. Actually, just to confirm on those servos, they're the smaller Savox servos, I've just noticed. So they are that one's upside down. So the Savox SV1250s, just slightly smaller. So that's what the model's really designed for, that size of servo. There goes the rudder one there. More than powerful enough, even for that great big rudder. Okay, let's make some room for the wings. Definitely still running out of space in the workshop. I think I say this every single video. Need a bigger workshop. Here we go. Here is one of the wing panels. So the wings look pretty skinny. I guess pretty much like the horizontal stabilizer. They just look skinny. Flaps and ailerons. So make sure you've checked out my video. I think I did pretty much last time round of how to mix the flap with the aileron, so you can have a full length aileron on the model. Makes a massive difference when you're playing around with 3D on this. So a nice looking scheme. The silver and the black and yellow, I think those colours work really well. So well done Extreme Flight on that. Same servos in the wings, the SV1250s. Nice short rods, all the horns and linkages come with the kit. The servo arms, and obviously the servos don't. Pretty light considering. Actually, you know, all extreme stuff. All extreme stuff. Does that make sense? All extreme flight kits. Cutting my teeth in today. Their stuff's light. That's what I'm trying to say. It's made light. It's made purposely. It's made strong, and that's what you're getting for really when you pay the big bucks, or the bigger bucks compared to other manufacturers. Okay, looks good. Let's chuck the wing on, and I'll show you some of the movement. Actually, before I go much further, you do get these rather nice supports for the wing. Just go in, all sprayed, pretty solid. I believe some people do fly without these. I mean, fine if you're just flying around gently, but for 3D maneuvers, I really wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't want to risk it. Don't want the wing folding. They're there for a reason. Carbon fibre tube. Always difficult to assemble the model in the tiny workshop. Now I will point out that the wing tube on this is pretty tight, and that's because my buddy tells me it comes really close to the back of these servos. And even though they are the recommended servos, I think the tube or the outer of the tube is just touching. And oddly enough, you can see it goes in pretty smooth to start off with and then does get tighter. I'm twisting it now to put it in at half the wing and it's in, but for me that is so tight. I mean, we've tried some releasing agent on the tube itself, doesn't make any difference. So that puts me off a little bit. I mean, this isn't my model, so I'm being super careful when I'm pulling the wings apart. And it felt really awkward and really difficult to get these off the other day when I put it together. Probably different on the bigger ones. They do 120, so this is 84 inch. They do 120 inch, and they do 140 inch. There is rumours saying they're going to do 100 inch as well. I've got my eye on the 120 inch in the blue, white and silver scheme. I say I've got my eye on it. I've got other models on order right now. It's just like a nice to have model. It would be really nice to have. But let's get this wing on. So just a single wing bolt. There's no fancy locking mechanism on this at the moment. Extreme Flight on models like the Extra, the Slick, on the V2 and the V3 generations, they've changed the wing mechanism, which is really nice. It'd be great if they did that on this model. So you just slide the wing on and maybe flick a catch over rather than try and screw this in. Okay. Very nice looking. I've only put one of the wing supports on just because we're in the workshop, just to give you a look at how that goes. Definitely finishes it off. I believe you can get a light kit for this. So you could put change this section here, put some wingtip lights in and just run the wire down inside the inside of the wing. Pretty nice to do. Very nice. I'll leave it there. I'll just leave you a few clips of this bush up in the air. See you next time round. Cheers.